Mike, good to see you. It's been a couple of weeks. You made the most of the international window. Was it something that you needed to mentally and physically recharge, both you and the players, I guess?
Listen, with the amount of games in a short space of time, I thought it was vital that we took the chance to have a break. I didn't want to be going into the game missing the 4 internationals. We had a injury list still creeping up, and hopefully there'll be a lot of good news on the injury front tomorrow.
No, you teed me up nicely for an answer. I know what I'm going to get now. How is the injury list looking?
A lot more healthier.
Are you expecting players back?
Yes.
You're not going to give me any names, are you?
Scott Twine will definitely be back.
There we go. That's something.
Although he wasn't injured. he wasn't allowed to be selected for the FA Cup.
Indeed. You are back in league action after that cup game. And, you know, the cup match just showed that after that defeat at Carlisle, a bump in the road, if you want, that, you know, you got the response you wanted, the response you expected.
Yeah, listen, I already had the response in the Carlisle game, the way they finished the game, if I'm honest. Look, it wasn't good enough overall, we know that. But, you know, they're a good team. They'll upset a few. You know, they'll be there or thereabouts if they keep everyone fit. So, look, we've got no divine right to win every game. We will give it our all every game. Sometimes it's going to be good enough. Sometimes we're going to fall short. It's where we're at, but we've got to keep doing what we believe in and take our games to the opposition.
Keep doing what you're doing, and I'm sure there'll be more Manager of the Month awards coming your way.
Listen, I'd just rather the one at the end of the season, if I'm totally honest. You know, that it's a team effort. It's not just about me. You know, you're in a position where, yeah, you do get a bit of the praise when you win. You also get the flack when you lose. But they know we win and lose together.
Going back to that international break, you obviously had Tom King away with Wales, but also Josh Sheehan, who won his first cap in that friendly against the USA and was very much involved in the squad. How proud are you as his club manager?
I'm absolutely made up for him. He's a fantastic lad, great professional, talented footballer, family man. Look, I couldn't be more happier for somebody getting an international cap than I am for Josh. It was nice to see Tom called up as well again. You know, I think the second time is always better because it shows it's not just a one-off. So he should be proud of that. And obviously Aaron Lewis and Brandon Cooper called up with the 21s who put on a very good performance against Germany over there.
With Josh, I know that it's not been easy for him at times, you know, in terms of his career. A lot of big things expected of him at Swansea. He came through a promising, in a promising academy team, and then had his injury problems. You see so many stories where those players just lose their way, don't know how to go again. But it's a great example to others, isn't it, what he's done?
Yeah, of course it is. He's shown a real strength and character, a good mentality. You know, he's had his down days, believe me. You know, he's been really down. He's been really rock bottom at times. But, you know, we've managed to, you know, keep together and support him. His family have obviously been amazing with him. And I think, you know, now with the birth of his little one, he's got a real purpose in life to not only play the highest he can, but to support his family.
It never quite happened with you in terms of Wales, Mike, despite your own success as a player. Is there a bit of reflected glory in it with Josh winning that cap?
No. Do I think I should have had a cap? Yes. Why I didn't, I'll never know. But look, that's life. But no, it's nothing to do with me. It's all it is a proud moment for the football club, and I'm just fortunate that I'm the manager of such a talented footballer in Josh Ian.
I think you're being modest there, Mike, because you've obviously had an influence on him and developed his game.
Listen, we've tried, but the old adjective, you can take a horse to water, you can't make him drink. You know, we could have tried everything. If Josh wasn't willing to put in the hard work and listen and take on the good advice that he was getting, then, you know, it would all been a waste of time. But no, that's where he deserves all the credit. That's why he deserves all the credit. You know, you are, as a player, you are in charge of your own destiny a lot more than, you know, if you're a manager, so to speak. You know, you can have the best preparation in the world, be the best coach in the world. If you don't get results as a manager, you are, you know, 9 times out of 10 going to be out of work. If you're a player, you're doing everything you can. You've got the ability as well. You usually get rewarded for that.
I think Joe Ledley described him as a bit like Joe Allen, and it could be an opening for him. You never know. So there is motivation for him to not just think, "Oh, I've reached the peak now." As you say with Tom, there's a chance to get in another squad. Have you had to have a word with him to remind him, look, great achievement, but this should only be the start for you, and it starts against Port Vale?
No, I haven't, because I haven't seen him this morning yet. I don't need to have that chat with him because, like I said, he's a fantastic lad, professional as well. So no, that doesn't even come into it. He will set himself a goal of being on the plane to the Euros.
Do you think he can get there?
Yeah.
Be nice to have a promotion in the bag to go with it in his suitcase, eh?
Well, yeah. I'm going to tell him a promotion comes first, then he can go to the Euros.
Yeah, you can celebrate afterwards, eh? Once that's in the bag. And I'm sure the dressing room will make sure, as it always does, especially at Newport County, that no ego there. Leave that. You know, there'll be plenty of stick, I'm sure.
I think, yeah, he'll come in. He'll have a personal chauffeur this morning. He'll get Ash Baker washing his boots. Yeah, none of that's happening.
No, and that's the way why Newport County have been so successful under you, is because of that spirit, Mike. Not the only thing, of course. And it all begins again, isn't it? You've had that break, you've recharged, you've refocused. And is what happened before the international window in terms of results, not in terms of performances, that by the by now, it all sort of starts again, because it's a hell of a period.
Yeah, listen, you know, that's why it was important. We've got an important period ahead of us. We've got a real opportunity now in the next 6 weeks with a lot of, I think it's 7 out of 11 home games. So we've got to take advantage of that. Port Vale are going to be hurting. You know, I watched a lot of their game on Saturday where they were very good when they were leading 2-0. The sending off cost them. But, you know, they'll be there or thereabouts, Port Vale. They're a solid squad. They've got good players. They've got players who know the league. And I think John's done a very good job there.
Finally, for me, Mike, you mentioned you've got quite a few home games coming up. We've had some bad weather. The pitch has looked very decent this year. Have you been brave enough to take a peek? Do you know what to expect?
No, I spoke to the groundsman yesterday. You know, I think it's helped with the rugby being limited at the moment. It is what it is. You know, we got to try and make the most of it whilst it's good. Because I've got a feeling this year, once it goes, it's gone.
And that would be even more frustrating given the way that you've adapted your game as a side, you know, playing some fantastic football. How do you balance that? Do you stick with your principles on that, or would it be foolish, naive to think that you can continue to play if and when that pitch goes?
We've got to address it as it comes, because it is, you know, that much of an obstacle. And obviously this is nothing to do with the ground staff. They do a fantastic job there. You know, they work so hard and tirelessly to get it in the best condition. It's just the circumstances, you know, the 3 teams on the amount of weather. I think the problem is when the frost comes, you know, where it kills the grass off, and then it's hard to recover at all.
Well, I'm sure. Well, let's hope it stays as good as it can for as long as it can, Mike. Best of luck tomorrow. And who knew that you'd end up becoming something of a quasi gardener, knowing what the good pitch conditions are.
I had a lot of time off. I had a lot of things to watch when we were off. So educating the mind.
Next, Charlie Dimmock.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers.
Mike, can I just ask on Josh? Obviously, county fans, as he gets more success, they'll worry that other clubs are going to keep sniffing around him. But
what's the point in worrying, Chris? Listen, what will be will be. If he goes, he goes. He goes with a blessing. He goes because he's earned it. Just make the most of him while he's there. That's all I'll say.
Because, well, as you say, the lure of promotion, surely that's a good. Keeping on that promotion, Charlie, will be key to keeping him as well, won't it?
That'll be helpful, Chris. I'm sure he'd want a promotion, but look, like I said, he's got a family to think of as well. If somebody comes in January and meets his buyout clause, there's nothing we can really do about it. If Josh decides that he wants to stay until the summer, then great. If Josh decides he wants to sign a new deal, even better. But I'm putting no pressure whatsoever on him because I want him focusing on playing his best football for the time we've got him.
Will you put another contract on the table for him just as an option, or is that stating the bleeding obvious?
That's stating the bleeding obvious, if I'm honest.
Yeah. With him, he's had such a busy week. Would you? Does that come into your mind when you've got the selection? Because obviously you've got Scott Twine, Jamie Devitt there. There are creative options. As important as he is, it's been a manic week, hasn't it, for him?
No, doesn't come into my mind one bit, Chris.
Right. All good. Another of the players who's been away, Aaron Lewis. He's not had many. He's not had many options yet. Do you think he'll slowly come into it now?
Yeah, listen. He had 25 minutes the other night against Germany. He'd done very well. When he came in, he had a little niggle, an injury. So we had to be careful with that. And of course, he's. It was a toss-up between him and Ash Baker against Leyton Orient. Aaron had a kick on the Friday, so he had a bit of swelling. So again, we weren't going to risk it. He is one of them, but he's showing some real, talent in training when he's trained, and obviously he's highly thought of with a Welsh squad because he hasn't played, and he's still getting selected.
He's versatile, isn't he? He can play.
Yeah, he can play in a few positions.
And with him and a few others, you're now able to make 5 subs. Is that a good thing, or one way you've got to resist temptation at times to? Listen,
you got to be. You can have a look at it. The amount of times managers have said at half time, if I could take 6 or 7 of you off, I would. It's the old cliche. Sometimes it can work when it's a real disaster, I suppose. Other times you've got to be careful you don't upset the rhythm too much. It's something else that us managers got to think about. But the reason why we voted for it is the players' welfare. The players' well-being is the most important part of this, and it's good that they've been put first.
Is it like the Premier League one? Is it in 3 loads? The 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. All good. In terms of Port Vale, you obviously you would have watched them with Colin Murray, I presume. What did you make of them when they were?
Oh, listen, they're a strong team. They know the league well. They've got good players. Worrell, Pope, Joyce, who's I think is suspended. Leon Legg. They've got experience. Montano, who can be an attacking fullback. They've got a very good team. Nathan Smith is a very good player at the back. It's going to be tough. They are a good team. On their day, they'll beat anybody in the league. I know they've had 1 or 2 poor results or not great results, but they were leading comfortably against Tranmere with 11 men, and circumstances sometimes it affects you.
All good. Cheers. I'll let Rob have a crack. Cheers.
They say you're only as good as your last game. Well, your last game in the league didn't turn out so well. So, in some ways, having got that monkey off the back and having had a defeat, you've got a bit of a stick to beat the boys with to keep them honest now, haven't you?
well, one off's only as good as your last game. We won the last one, so we're the best thing since sliced bread. Look, we don't get carried away, Rob. Whether it's winning or 2 down when we lose. We know what we could improve on against Carlisle. We know what we could improve on against Leyton Orient after a win. Look, they're an honest group. They're a talented group, and we've got to keep it going.
Yeah, and the fact you got 3 games in a row coming up at home as well. That must be great, not having to travel.
Yeah, you look at the week we had. We had Carlisle away, we had Leyton Orient away, we had Plymouth away in a week. It was a lot of miles put on, and if we were to play Grimsby, you've been looking at nearly 2,000 mile round trip in 10 days. It's tough, but we've got to get on with it, and we need to make the most of being at home now and getting back on the front foot.
And given that you're still top, having taken a game out, I guess you've got to keep on showing everyone that you're there to stay. Well,
that's the aim. It's we want to win every game we go into. It's not always going to happen, we know that, but it's let's keep chalking them off. We've got our targets. We know what we want to hit, and we're on the road to doing that.
Yeah. And as far as the players who haven't been away, they've obviously appreciated a bit of downtime, but are they champing at the bit?
They've been exceptional this week in training. They've had a real good week now. Sometimes I'm always cautious of that because you can fall flat on your face on match day, but the hunger, the desire, the work ethic, the quality, they've been spot on this week.
Yeah. And in terms of, we all talk about the new style and the way you've been playing. Do you think they're getting even more comfortable with it because you've stuck to it?
Yeah, I think they all, we're working on new patterns of play as well to add to that. And look, it's going all right at the minute. I want some more end product in terms of goals, but let's just keep getting the points on the board at first, and we can keep working on the end product as we go.
Great. Good. And congratulations on that Manager of the Month thing.
Thanks, Rob. Cheers for the message.
Cheers.